So this one is about making a project bag out of a piece of fabric. So I've cut a piece of fabric. It is 52 centimetres wide and 42 centimetres high, and it's essentially going to fold into a bag. We're going to stitch it up, and then we're going to make a roll down top through which we can thread a loop. So we'll work on that. Don't worry if you are a few centimetres under or over, it's not going to matter. Don't worry about it at all. So the first thing to do is on the short side, we're just going to do about 10 centimetres of zigzag. This is just to stop it fraying when we roll it over. This will be part of the top tube, and I just want to make sure that doesn't fray inside. And then we're going to, having done that on both sides, I've done it on this edge as well. This edge probably wouldn't have frayed very much, so if your fabric isn't going to fray, it's maybe not so necessary, but I'm doing it for completeness to show you what's going on. So now we're going to fold the bag in half, right sides together, and I'm going to sew a seam around the edge. You've got about a 1 centimetre seam allowance, and we're going to start 6 centimetres from the top. So just grabbing a pencil and a tape measure. So I'm just going to measure 6 centimetres from the top, which is there, and that's where I'm going to start sewing. So we'll just line up those edges. It's all looking good. You see, I don't bother with pins. The knife's too short for pinning. I regret that when I use fancy fabrics, but right now this is too short. Okay.
Can you just show us the line, because I think our hand was in the way.
The line is now underneath the foot here. So I have my assistant here. So I'm going to start just in front of the line, and then I'm going to back up to it. But you are going to have to go a little bit out, Emily, because I actually cannot see a blooming thing on what I am sewing here. Right, so we're going to reverse to the line, and then I'm going forward. So that's one side done. Okay, I'm just going to trim the corners, so I'll just take the corner off there and the corner off here. That's to reduce bulk when we turn it inside out. And I am now going to zigzag this seam that I've done, so back onto there. Okay, nothing is going to fray inside there. Let's get rid of our ends. Okay. And we're just going to fold back and just hem back these top pieces. So I'm just going to stick that underneath the machine back into straight. And so we're just going to sew that straight down. Okay. You'll see that I'm using black thread. That's simply because that's what my machine was currently threaded up with. You can use black thread, white thread, matching thread, zingy coloured different thread, whatever you fancy. It's all completely fine. Let us go and just do this side. So just a nice little narrow seam there. And what that does is it stops anything fraying or indeed catching when we try and thread the tie through the bag, which you won't be doing, the children will be doing. So now I'm going to pin down 1 centimetre seam allowance on this top here. Let's quickly pin that down. Dee-da, dee-da. This is pretty much a real-time video, so you can see how super speedy it is to make one of these. And then, oh, I put the pins on the wrong side. I should put them on the other side, but it doesn't matter. We'll just pin that. Then I'm going to turn it down. See what I mean? If I pinned it on the other side, which I remember to do when I was making my big bulk lot for your class, Emily.
You're concentrating too much.
Am I concentrating too much now?
I do that.
Okay.
As soon as I show someone, it goes wrong.
Oh dear, you see, there they are. You heard it from the girl herself. Okay, so we're just pinning that down there. Ooh, bit of random thread. And this one is the last one to come down. There we go. So this is the top of the bag, ready for the drawstring. You can see it's open there, so we've folded it down to where it opens, so that's the 6 centimeters. So you should have in that 6 centimeters, you've got 5 centimeters of turning and 1 centimeter seam allowance inside. Okay, and then I'm just going to sew that up. So I'm taking my stand off just because it's easier to work it around than the free arm. Just move that pin. There we go. I'm ready to go, and on straight. Yep, we're good to go. And here we are. There we are. And that is pretty much a bag. We'll just trim off some of these loose bits of thread. And we'll turn it inside out. I'm just poking the corners down here. Okay. Ba-doing, ba-doing. And that is a project bag. Really quick and simple. You don't need to do anything else to it. The children will embroider their names on it, and they'll also make their own tie and thread it through. So that is all I'm needing. I just need about 30 of them. Thanks very much if you can help.